Chinese hospitality is something that is super underrated for sure. I've flown everything from Emirates, Saudi, Turkish, United, Portugal, many more. The price comparison for the seat that I'm on now, this might be the best one yet. Flight attendants are so friendly, and this is something that you almost never find in US-based airlines anymore. Good morning from Beijing, China, and today we have a little bit of an interesting adventure. Today we are flying on one of China's main airlines, China Southern, and we are flying business class domestically here in China, and not just any business class, on one of their newest A380 business class planes. This plane has only been in service for about 2 years. So let's head into the airport here, get checked in, because you can't do it online as a foreigner, and see how this goes. So China actually has a ton of airlines, most that we've never heard of in the West. And to be honest, it gets really confusing figuring out which airline is going where. So guys, if you've never been to China, China's airports are absolutely massive. And not only that, they are beautiful. But I think over here is our check-in. So I found this insane deal online. When you come to China, the only website you basically use to book things is trip.com. And I found a business class flight. So we have 2 flights today. We have domestic here in China, and then we have international to Bali. The total, both on business class, was $550. And both planes are brand new. I think both of them have been flying for less than 5 years. So crazy deal. Let's go find the check-in counter and get set up. Okay, so I've just been told that business class check-in is not in the normal check-in area. So we have to take this elevator down to the 3rd floor, and then we can do check-in. Doing anything in China as a foreigner is just so confusing. And the lack of every single person you speak to in China, you're using a translator. So just enjoy the ride. Sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes it's okay. Okay, so check this out. We actually do have our own exclusive check-in area, which basically, I didn't know that. So I came in through the regular one. Let's see. Where can I check in? I have 2 flights. Can I have window seat? Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, check-in is done, security is done, and we have made it to the China Southern Lounge, which has this awesome view of the gates. So let me show you the lounge over here. They have everything from hot food, some chefs over there. They have Chinese food here. They have a bar here. There's also another cocktail bar over there. And it's kind of placed in the middle of the terminal, which is super interesting. Okay, so the food in the lounge, I will say, isn't great. However, it is breakfast time. And if you've flown a lot, you do know that the worst food that you can get in breakfast time for lounges and for airlines, well, is breakfast. However, I have about an hour or 2 until my flight, so I'm gonna sit here, enjoy this, and then enjoy China Southern or Eastern. Southern. So boarding is about to begin in less than 5 minutes, and if we look out the window, we can actually see our aircraft. That is the China Southern A350-900, and I am so excited because when I was booking this ticket, I almost booked it on their Boeing 777, which is like 15 years old, and then for the same exact price, I found this flight, which is their brand new Airbus A350, which is 2 years old. So guys, we're going down the jet bridge now. 2 funny things. One, I am clearly the only foreigner on this flight because this is a domestic flight in China, and I think it's like a repositioning flight for their A350. And then also, they are selling upgrades to business class like crazy. Welcome on board the China Southern A350 business class. As you can see, this is a fully lie flat bed, and it is super spacious, and the cabin crew just getting on here, amazing. You can see that business class looks pretty empty. And inside here, they have already given me slippers. The only thing I did was sit down, basically. Hello? What is this one?
Grab a special drink for you.
Okay.
And this is orange, apple, and cocoa.
Yeah, the Chinese tea is okay. Yeah, thanks so much.
Hot. Please be careful.
Chinese hospitality is something that is super underrated for sure. So we have this pear tea. It's nice. It's tea. Inside here, we can see we have a little cubby. It's similar to what is on an Emirates business class, but I mean lacking a bunch of things. However, they do give us Voss water, which is super expensive water. And just like that, we've been given a hot towel as well. Guys, this is all within maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes of getting on board the plane. The service right now is insane. So a hobby of mine that I've acquired while traveling around the world for the last 4 years is trying different business classes around the world. And I only really do it when it's a really good deal or a really good price. I've flown everything from Emirates, Saudi, Turkish, United, Portugal, many more. And the price comparison for the seat that I'm on now, this might be the best one yet. So I'm not saying that this is the best seat that I've ever sat in a business class, because it's not. That rivals either Emirates or United, which is crazy, but United is super, super spacious. However, this is close. So we will wait until we are in the air to go through everything that's in the seat here. Just about a 3-hour flight across China. Remember, this is a domestic flight. I'll show you the rest of what we have in the seat, and then I think that there's a meal service. If there is a menu, I'll show you that before we get up in the air. Okay guys, we are now airborne, and I'm going to show you something that really impresses me on this flight. So here is the screen. And guys, I have to tell you, this is probably the most responsive screen that I've ever used on an airplane. It feels like you're using an iPad tablet, and the screen feels like super, super clean. Not only that, they have a really good English selection of movies. They have all the Lord of the Rings, they have all the Harry Potters, they have Transformers. For a Chinese airline, this is really surprising. Right guys, we are about halfway through our flight now, which might sound odd, but we've had crazy turbulence basically the entire time. I want to show you that this bed goes fully lie flat, 180 degrees, and because this is a short flight, they don't give you the full bedding or anything, but they do give you this really nice blanket, a pretty large pillow, and overall it's really comfortable. So now inside the bed, you can see that it is pretty spacious. I am 5'11", about 6 feet tall, and my feet go all the way to the end, and I can lay back comfortably. However, if I was any taller, then I would have to probably bend my knees. Now what is interesting is there is no in-flight menu on this flight. She basically just came to me with like an iPad, and I had to select 3 things. So I went with kind of the strangest thing that I could find, which was like eel with rice. The full controls of the seat are here. We have a USB, then we have a remote control there. That does come out, and it also tells you the flight time on the remote. I've never seen that before in my life. Of course, we have our little cubby storage here. Down here, we have another little storage compartment, and then we have our outlet. And our TV does come out all the way, and when you do pull it out to this distance, let me tell you, it is gigantic. I think this is a really similar entertainment system that United has. Okay guys, and welcome to the bathroom. It's crazy. Every time I get up at all in this flight, there is turbulence, and pretty moderate turbulence. But the bathroom smells incredible. Before I came into the bathroom, the flight attendant was like, wait, I will personally clean it for you. So I think she like sprayed some things and wiped some things down. So here we have a few little things, some hand wash, this is some lotion, this is some fragrance, and then we have like little cute, adorable car air fresheners. But I will say the service on this flight, even though it's a short flight, under 3 hours domestic, top tier. The flight attendants are so friendly, and this is something that you almost never find in US-based airlines anymore. Right guys, food has just arrived, and look at how beautiful this setup looks like. This is why I kind of like sitting in the back, because you just get this picturesque little image here. And this is the food that they have served, the entire plate at the same time, the dessert, the appetizer, and the entree. Let me tell you what it is. This is a eel and rice. It's a little cold salad with, looks like chicken, some shrimp. This is a mousse, some fresh fruit, and a tomato soup. What I think is really funny is the crew speaks English, but to a level, of course. And I was trying to figure out like what flavor that this mousse cake is, and let's just say unknown flavor. We're not too sure. Give a few things a try. Let's try this tomato soup. I'm in an airplane. Usually I avoid ordering fish. I don't know why, but this looks phenomenal. It literally melts in your mouth. That is insane. Soup will give a 7 out of 10. This will give, I'm gonna give that a 9.5 out of 10. This, 5 out of 10. Presentation's not too great on this one. And I do love the fruit here. Fruit is fruit, so we'll just try a little bit of cantaloupe. Good, 10 out of 10. Wow, guys, look at this. So the meal service is over, and I finished the food, and it was great. And then they, of course, like normal, offer a hot drink afterwards, and they said either some Chinese tea or coffee. I've never had Chinese tea before, so they brought me 3 different Chinese teas and coffee. You know, this one is green tea. And that tastes like green tea. Now we're gonna go for the one that's served in like a Chinese style kind of cup. A little bitter, a little more bitter than the last one. And then she said to me that this one is going to be the strongest. She said it's from a specific province in China, so we're gonna give it a try. Okay, that one is my favorite. Do I prefer any of them to the espresso that they also brought me? No, I don't. However, this is just like hospitality at its best. You know, they didn't have to do this. This is only a 2.5 hour, less than 3 hour flight, and they brought me this entire flight of tea. How nice is that? And they're so nice. Okay, and now we have begun our final descent into Guangzhou, China. And when we get down there, I'll give you a little feedback, a little rating of what I think of China Southern Airlines business class, and if I would recommend it to you. See you on the ground. And well, guys, we have landed. I'm off the plane, and I've made it to the China Southern Lounge here in Guangzhou. And this flight, let me tell you, for the price that I paid, I fly in that A350 China Southern business class. The food, the seat, the service, for me, everything there was absolutely worth that price. I paid a hell of a lot more for a hell of a lot less. Now I'm about to go fly on their A321, which is like kind of like a European business class, nowhere near what we just did. However, I'm definitely going to recommend China Southern, especially if you can get it for that price. If you can get it for more expensive, I'd say that seat's probably worth $1,000 depending on how long the actual flight is. If it's intercontinental, for sure. So I'm going to give them, I'd say, a 9.4 out of 10. For me, everything there was spot on, but I can't go higher because then we're getting into like Emirates status. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, feel free to subscribe, give a like button, leave a comment, and let me know what your experience was on China Southern, either in economy or business.